She got into his car thinking he was her Uber driver. Then he sexually assaulted her. It happened about 3 o'clock today in Athens, Clark County, 3 this morning. Tonight, police are still looking for the man. They are not able to give us any information about where this happened, what this man looks like, or what kind of car he was driving just yet. So how can you make sure you do not get into a car with an Uber imposter? First, on the app, check the license plate of your driver. Make sure it matches the car that you are getting into. Second, double check the driver's picture on the app against the person actually behind the wheel of that car. And third, ask the driver who they are picking up before you ever give them your name.
Says that the suspect is no longer on their app, that he had been driving with Uber since early this year, and that there were no previous complaints against them. An Uber spokesman also told me by phone tonight that Uber can't prevent everything from happening and that people need to learn how to protect themselves.
He drove up and she got in the vehicle believing that it was her Uber.
And while he was an Uber driver, it was not the Uber she or her friends had ordered. Lieutenant Stephen Mendez with Union City PD says in the early morning hours of July 14th, a young woman got in the car of an Uber driver who was off work. Police say that man, 30-year-old Kevin Berea Ceballos, drove the woman from San Francisco to her home in Union City, where he sexually assaulted her. He was arrested Tuesday in South San Francisco.
She had been drinking, but was aware enough that she knew she was sexually assaulted. He obviously had a proclivity towards this.
On Tuesday night in San Mateo, another woman was sexually assaulted by a man who police say was pretending to be a rideshare driver. He picked the victim up near Highway 92 in a gray four-door sedan. She later escaped.
Be aware, be alert.
Erin Balmasil frequently uses rideshares in San Francisco and says she and her friends have a safety system in place.
Make sure that you're checking the license plate number.
Recovering after she was reportedly sexually assaulted by the driver she trusted to get her home safely. She says she was attacked by her Uber driver while she was unconscious. Action News reporter Vernon Odom just spoke to authorities. He's outside the Westchester District Attorney's Office with more. Vernon.
Good evening, Monica. Tonight, the Chester County DA and the state police are asking for everyone to watch this report very closely. And if you or anyone you know had a similar encounter with this rape suspect, call them right away. This is the rape suspect, 26-year-old Ahmed El Ghaffari of Lansdale, now an ex-Uber driver. He's in the Chester County Prison tonight, accused of raping a passenger last winter. The district attorney says he picked up his alleged victim here at the Valley Forge Casino around 2:20 a.m. last February 10th. El Ghaffari was not arrested, however, until Wednesday. He is accused of assaulting the woman sometime during the 55-minute period and took the driver to her home in Charlestown, which normally, the prosecutor says, takes 15 minutes. She told investigators she was completely drunk, and that is why she called Uber in the first place.
This whole experience was terrifying. Now, this all started when she says a coworker called her an Uber pool. An Uber pool is where it's actually more of like a carpooling thing where there are other passengers in the car. When that car showed up, she looked in, she saw there was another passenger in the back seat, so she ended up deciding to sit in the front seat. She says it really didn't take long into this ride to figure out that something was not right. Let's show you guys some video of this. This all ended up transpiring when she says she noticed that the driver wasn't using the official app. She says the driver passed by her house in Golden to drop off the other passenger who was far away, all the way at I-76 in Golden. She says she even offered to pay more to be dropped off first, but she says the driver said no. Once that other passenger was gone, she says the driver drove past her house again. This time, she says he parked in a parking lot, locked the doors, and turned off the interior lights.
He had locked the doors, turned off all the interior lights, and kissed me on the cheek twice, and so I tried pushing away, and he grabbed the back of my neck and kissed me on the lips. Like, I know they get you from here to there, but it's just not safe.
The first time Brooke Adkins ever feared for her life.
I went into survival mode so quick.
The 19-year-old hopped in an Uber early Wednesday morning after a night out with friends in Tallahassee, only to find the driver wouldn't let her out.
I was far. Like, I got 25, 30 minutes away. I'm like, where are you taking me?
Adkins told police the driver, 30-year-old Destiny Green, said she was taking her to the hospital. Drunk but still aware that something wasn't right, Adkins asked to get out. The driver reportedly refused, so Adkins discreetly dialed 911.
And I'm just like, I'm getting out now. And so I jumped out the window.
Police found Adkins scraped up in a Walgreens parking lot and arrested Green a couple hours later. Adkins admits because the driver was a woman, it gave her a false sense of security.
Craig, that alleged victim said she was dropped off here at the Berkeley Heights apartment. She said her Uber driver was acting so strangely, the other passenger in the car decided to get out here as well. Now, the driver allegedly got upset. Police say she hit both passengers with her car.
It's not like she hit me and then she stopped. She hit me and she kept going.
Doctors told Tylasha Strother she has a fractured back and has to wear this neck brace after her Uber driver allegedly hit her and another passenger with her car.
She literally hit me and kept going.
Strother flew into Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport from New York Thursday night for the holiday weekend and used Uber's ride-sharing option. When the second passenger got into the car at the Atlanta airport, they both noticed the Uber driver was talking to herself.
She was like doing sign language, but it was weird because she wasn't talking to anyone.
When the driver arrived at Strother's destination on Roadside Drive, the other passenger got out as well.
And she was just like, I'm sorry, I just don't feel comfortable riding with you.
Strother said the Uber driver was offended and started yelling.
It kind of got physical, and the Uber driver took the passenger's phone and threw it on the floor.
Strother recorded this video right before the driver allegedly sped off, hitting both passengers.
If I didn't land on my duffel bag, I probably wouldn't be here today.
Against an Uber driver in Providence.
A female passenger says she was groped while in the car with 29-year-old Carlos Carrillo. The victim says the assault continued even after she got out of that car.
Eyewitness News reporter Sheena Lasciuto is in Providence now with a reaction to these accusations.
We took the ride ourselves. The entire trip was less than 2 miles. Uber says they've never had a problem with this driver in the past. It's quick.
So it's really just convenient if you don't have a car.
And it's easy.
I definitely depend on Uber.
That's why so many people use the popular ride-sharing app Uber.
Yeah, well, it's happening because we just got here in an Uber and I take Uber all the time.
But now people we spoke to on Thayer Street say they may start thinking twice. This is where Providence police say a passenger was initially picked up before allegedly being sexually assaulted early Thursday morning.
It makes you just want to be on the lookout and be aware of your surroundings. And
Providence police have charged 29-year-old Carlos Carrillo with second-degree sexual assault. The victim is a 21-year-old Brown student. The police report shows she requested a ride from Thayer Street and then asked the driver to stop by her nearby home before dropping her off at Medway Street. The passenger reportedly allowed Carrillo to use her bathroom. When they got back in the car, police say he began touching her and even tried climbing on top of her. Authorities say he even continued the alleged assaults after she got out of the car. She called 911 as soon as she got to her destination.
Investigating allegations an Uber driver beat and robbed a passenger in Atlanta after the story went viral on social media. The alleged victim's sister posted the story on Facebook Sunday morning. She names the Uber driver and accuses him and another man of beating her brother unconscious, robbing him, and stuffing his naked body into a drainage pipe. The man is recovering at home, and the family is working with police.
Driver now facing charges after agreeing to let a teenager do a stunt on his car that led to that teenager's death.
Yeah, investigators say 15-year-old Ryan Mullen fell to the pavement while car surfing on an Uber vehicle last September. Eyewitness News reporter NJ Brooke reports at the station where he spoke exclusively with that young victim's family. NJ.
Well, Liz, they're devastated, as you would expect. They're heartbroken, and they want to know why. Why did the Uber driver allow them to do this in the first place? And why did he call 911 when their son fell to the pavement?
What if the driver was responsible enough to say no?
Matt Mullen wants answers. His 15-year-old son Ryan died from a traumatic head injury hours after he tumbled off the roof of an SUV driven by Danielle Chima, a 25-year-old driver for Uber.
What if he reacted differently and got our son medical attention?
It happened just after midnight on September 23rd, when Ryan and two other teens left this 7-Eleven in Huntington in Chima's Toyota Highlander. Prosecutors say Chima accepted $40 to allow Ryan and another teen to ride on the roof. Ryan fell and later died in his sleep at a friend's home. This morning, the driver was charged with manslaughter.
This was an incredibly bad decision by the defendant, bad decision by the boys involved, obviously.
Car's coming. Gonna get hit. He's gonna get hit.
Move, 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 move. Forward.
Stay. We're gonna get hit. You're gonna have to go a different way.
Yeah, let's go a different way because
You're gonna get hit.
Wait, what are you doing?
I drive now 1 hour and a half.
I mean, that don't got nothing to do with me. You could have went to the bathroom, bro. You can go to the bathroom, like.
Where? Tell me where. What time?
Outside, bro. You're a man. You serious right now? Like.
That anyone could carry this out. And then we're learning that he goes on and picks people up, Uber customers, in the middle of all this?
These are unsettling details that we're learning. I spoke to a source with knowledge of the investigation, Poppy, who tells me that this suspect was an Uber driver and, yes, in fact, was picking up fares in between his shooting spree. As a matter of fact, when he was eventually captured about 12:30 a.m. last night, he was still actively working, still picking up fares when he was taken into custody. Police describe him as being very even-tempered when he was eventually arrested. I did learn just a short time ago that he has been interviewed, interrogated by police, but even still, they don't have a motive. What really bothers authorities here locally is the sheer randomness of this all. The police chief was telling me that for all intents and purposes, the suspect is an average Joe. They did seize a semi-automatic handgun from his person when they arrested him. They also took a look inside of his home and seized several other weapons, Poppy. They're trying to figure out if whether or not those weapons were used in the commission of this shooting spree.
Released a statement that reads in part, "What's been described is extremely troubling, and upon learning of it, we immediately removed the driver's access to the app. We will continue to cooperate with law enforcement."
What the writer reported to police is appalling and wrong. This driver no longer has access to the app, and we will support the police investigation.